Our chief White House correspondent, James Rosen, has been tracking this story. He joins us live from the North Lawn. James, good morning.
Emma and Sean, good morning to you. Some in the White House press corps wondered at yesterday's press briefing yesterday afternoon whether it was a slight swipe or dig at Vice President Harris that was taken by the White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan when he commented to the effect that this deal could only have occurred if President Biden was in the Oval Office. The President and Vice President Harris, as you mentioned, were up late last night out at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland just before midnight when they reunited former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan, Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich, and Alsu Kurmasheva, a journalist with dual U.S.-Russian citizenship, with their families. The prisoner's arrival on American soil marked a significant diplomatic triumph for President Biden, finalized, his aides said, the same day he announced the end of his re-election bid and endorsed Vice President Harris.
This is just an extraordinary testament to the importance of having a president who understands the power of diplomacy and understands the strength that rests in understanding the significance of diplomacy and strengthening alliances. This is an incredible day.
That struck many as an example of the kind of word salad that is widely regarded as one of the vulnerabilities of the presumptive Democratic nominee. Another odd moment, reminiscent of those from June and July that forced the 81-year-old incumbent from the race, occurred after all the returning prisoners had disembarked and President Biden appeared to surprise the vice president and his own security detail by boarding the unmarked corporate plane that had brought the Americans home. Ms. Harris and the rest of the entourage waited nervously for almost 2 full minutes before the commander-in-chief emerged, his diversion as yet unexplained. Meantime, unrest is mounting in Venezuela, where strongman President Nicolas Maduro remains defiant that he won re-election in Sunday's balloting, despite challenges from international monitors such as the Carter Center. Violence has broken out, and the State Department late last night recognized opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez as the winner, citing tally sheets provided by his campaign. The U.S. is threatening new sanctions if Venezuela's National Election Council does not swiftly release the, quote, disaggregated data in its possession.
Our patience and that of the international community is running out. It's running out on waiting for the Venezuelan electoral authorities to come clean and release the full detailed data on this election so that everyone can see the results.
The response to that from President Maduro from the United States, recognizing his challenger as the winner of Sunday's election, was, quote, for the United States to keep its nose out of Venezuela, a country that does an estimated $4 billion a year of trade with the United States. Sean and Emma.
James, really quickly, through that report, there was a troubling scene where we saw President Biden board the transportation of the detainees, not Air Force One. This was troubling because I've never seen this before, and he goes right up the stairs and goes right in. Did someone call him into the plane?
As I said a few moments ago, the president's diversion into the plane, because the schedule called for the president to board no airplanes at any point last night, is as yet unexplained by the White House. It may be the case that the president wanted personally to thank the pilots who brought those Americans home and boarded the plane for that purpose. As I mentioned, he was aboard the aircraft for about 1 minute 40 seconds.